Hello everyone, SirMonkeySuit here, back again. We took your Ghoul on episode 7. Now we've taken a bit of a break from this over the last couple of weeks. The reason for that is I've been getting up to speed on some information thanks to a guy that goes by Max Thanks or Max THX on Discord, who did a ton of work for me, by the way. So thank you, man. Honestly, the amount of work you did, honestly, I appreciate it so much. He basically gave me a bunch of information, like, you know, over 100 pages, like in a PDF, regarding information that was left out of the anime, and just general, like, Tokyo Ghoul, like, manga information that would basically is information that the anime really should tell me outright, like, but, you know, it's no surprise that people obviously aren't happy about the way that the anime kind of leaves all of this stuff out. Yeah, so I've gone through it. I've taken down like notes of everything. So before we get in episode 7, I'm going to go through all the information, all of the everything that I've got written down here, just so you guys know exactly what I know now going forward. So yeah, I don't know how long this is going to take, but I'm going to do it obviously before the reaction. So for those of you that like aren't bothered about me like explaining all the things that I now know, I'll leave a timestamp in the video now, and that'll be the beginning of the reaction. So if you do just want to go out and see the reaction, then you can do. But yeah, we're going to get into this now. So again, like Max, thank you so much for doing all this for me. Okay, so we'll start off with the information in the manga that just hasn't really been presented in the anime, so that I shouldn't be as confused going forward. So, Dr. Kano, the guy who transplanted Rize's organs into Kaneki in Season 1, is actually keeping Rize alive. So Rize is actually alive. Now, obviously, there was no real confirmation as to whether she was actually dead or alive or not. We just didn't see her at all. The only time we saw her was in in Kaneki's head a lot of the time, almost like an alter ego kind of thing going on. Well, nah, not really an alter ego, but just a kind of a voice in his head, and obviously it would be presented as Rize in the animation. Of course, like back then, I remember specifically like that was a question that I had, if it was more a voice in his head, or it was actual like almost like a physical representation that like from her Kagane, essentially, because it is her Kagane. So but yeah, but she is alive. So she's actually in Dr. Kano's lab, and she's being kept alive in order to create ghouls so that he can destroy the warped cage around the world. That's a quote. So essentially, obviously, he sees, I'm guessing he sees like humanity as a species that is stopped at a sort of evolution point. It's no longer evolving. He sees ghouls as superior, I'm guessing. So what he's wanting to do is obviously decrease the human population, increase the ghoul population, by creating like more half ghouls with Rize. So it's just being used as a sort of as a more than an experiment, because obviously we know that it works, but she's being kept so that her DNA can be used. So yeah, it's interesting, like, because looking at the sort of like the panels and whatnot, it is crazy. I mean, well, first of all, the art style is like different to the anime, so it's interesting like seeing Rize look so different. I mean, I can tell Kaneki obviously because it's Kaneki, but obviously he has like the bright white hair and stuff, and yeah, you can tell. But yeah, Rize looks so different. But this is kind of someone where, like, you know, it's strange, because all we ever know of Rize is that she just torments people. You know what I mean? She's not a nice person. So in this kind of position, just looking at the panels, it's kind of crazy to think that, you know, you've got to like feel sorry for her because of the position that she's in and just being used. So yeah, so she's just being used to create other ghouls and things like that. It's kind of, it makes me wonder if they're actually gonna go into this storyline in the in the anime? Because I mean, I'm guessing not, because at this point in the anime, it's past the point that this takes place in the manga. So I'm guessing they're just not going to do it. It's just it's strange. Like, I don't know what the anime studio was thinking, because well, I can have a guess. You know what I mean? Like, generally, more often than not, and I've said this a bunch of times, but animes adapted from manga or light novels or whatever are generally just promotion materials so that people go out and buy the manga. That's basically what it is. The priority very rarely lands on the anime. You know, it's normally the manga more than not. So that's, you know, they've probably gone with like, oh well, there's no point in doing all this when we can just, you know, give people a tease and then, you know, they'll want to buy the manga. It's a shit way of doing things, you know what I mean? But I can tell that's probably what they did. So yeah, there's that. Kano also told Kaneki about Yoshimura and the creation of Oigiri Tree. And this obviously being in it will be in Route A, right? I believe so, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, so there was a scene in Route A, or like some episodes where they went to the Ghoul prison, Cochlea or whatever it was called, but you know, the actual scene of Kaneki finding Rize and all of that actually took place, yeah, in Dr. Kano's lab. It was different, but yeah. So when he's told about like Oigiri Tree and whatnot, I'm guessing this is the reason why, you know, it's sort of it's definitely a revelation, obviously, for Kaneki, because when he was brought in, obviously he was brought in to Antique to you know, and Yoshimura is obviously the one that brought him in, and sort of you know, took him under his wing and actually showed him that like not all ghouls are like evil savages and whatnot. Obviously being told that like Yoshimura essentially is like, you know he's very much tied to Oigiri Tree in that regard, you know what I mean? It's a big revelation for him. So yeah, there is let's have a look here, because I'm trying to like because I wrote these notes like, you know, a couple of weeks ago, and I have all the things popping up here. I'm just trying to connect the two. Yeah, there's something weird here as well. There's like a manga panel where in Dr. Kano's lab where it shows like a... I can only describe it as almost like alien-like, you know, from the like the movies Alien and stuff. Like where the xenomorphs are and things, where like they have a hive and it like all of their sort of like, you can see like a lot of like organic sort of material and whatnot. And it seems like he's like making the same thing here. There's like a sort of like a roof kind of thing that's like totally like organic materials. It's so, yeah, so strange. Yeah, Kano saying that he's already he has no intention of living in a world full of people. He wants ghouls instead. Yeah, he asks Kaneki if he wants to join Oigiri with him. So obviously Kano is, I'm not sure if he's actually like with Oigiri Tree or he's asking to join now. I don't know. Yeah. Yeah, so he basically says that Yoshimura is obviously the cause for Oigiri Tree to be formed, and that turns Kaneki's world pretty much upside down. You know what I mean? He obviously trying to manipulate Kaneki in order to try and get him to see things from his point of view and hopefully bring him over. But yeah. So so at that point, Yomo actually appears and takes Rize with him. So yeah, I mean, with Rize gone, it's actually interesting to note that Yoshimura at the end of Route A, when he was actually taken out, that he wasn't actually dead, and they actually took him. They took Yoshimura as a sort of as a replacement for Rize, and now they're using Yoshimura for the same purpose, which is definitely interesting to know. There's actually a manga panel here of like of Kaneki's like half Kakaja, where like he's obviously a centipede and whatnot. And interestingly enough, looking at it, I'm pretty sure it's almost the exact same mask as what we saw in like episode 5 or episode 6. When Kaneki's fighting Tachikawa, right? And Tachikawa has a mask on, and it looks exactly the same. I'm wondering if that is because there is a because Tachikawa obviously was turned into a half ghoul, the same process as what Kaneki was. I'm wondering if that was due to him taking DNA from Rize, or what, if that timeline intercedes. If that's the case, because I'm wondering if that is what it is. I mean, I never knew really how Kaneki ended up becoming a centipede, and that was his Kakaja, because I thought like maybe it was something to do with the torment that he got given from Yamori, which obviously a centipede was involved in that. So I'm not sure if it's to do with, like, you know, the torment, or if it's to do with the DNA that he's been given. I don't know. I just thought it was interesting that the mask that Kaneki's wearing on that manga panel is pretty much the same as the one that Tachikawa is wearing in episode 5 of this season. So I don't know. Oh, episode 6, 1 or 2. I don't know which one it is. Yeah. So Tachikawa, yeah, explains here like he wasn't a failed experiment or a floppy. Max made a note of that, basically saying that if you ever hear the word floppy, that's what it means. They obviously hadn't explained that a floppy is somebody who is a failed experiment. So yeah. Oh yeah, there was I almost forgot the top of the page because I skipped that for some reason. In obviously one of the big turns of Route A was Kaneki actually joining Oigiri tree, whereas in the manga actually what he did was he created an anti-Oigiri tree, which essentially is it was Banjo, which I remember from season 1. He was with a couple of guys. He was part of Oigiri tree, but he was forced to join, right? Banjo and his little groups, or his group that he had. Yeah, he was in the cafe, right? He was in Antique at the end of season 1. So an anti-Oigiri tree was Kaneki, Banjo, and his I think he had 2 or 3 other ghouls with him, and Tsukiyama as well. Tsukiyama actually joined. And a big thing to note actually that I thought was interesting that they failed to really capture in the anime is how Tsukiyama actually feels for Kaneki and stuff like that, and how it goes beyond just him wanting Kaneki for food. There was a big sort of there's a big thing about Tsukiyama actually feeling like a lot for Kaneki, and he is noticeably the most depressed in Tokyo Ghoul Re. Obviously, he's hiding behind, like, you know, hiding in bed, not wanting to fucking do anything. He can't even smell, like, you know, he doesn't even recognize the smell of Heisei versus Kaneki, which is interesting. It's almost like, you know, that kind of the fact that when Kaneki isn't Kaneki, that affects like the way he smells. it's more than just a mental thing, which is definitely interesting. Again, I think there's a lot of like the back and forth with that with Tokyo Ghoul. Like, I think that goes hand in hand almost with the Rize thing, where it's like, you know, a voice inside of his head, mental thing, physical apparition, kind of shit like that, where like it's more than just mental. So yeah, interesting. Yeah, it's a shame they didn't really go into that with Sukiyama really in the anime. But you know, now that I know, it's definitely, you know, it's definitely more interesting. I understand the reason why he is the way that he is now in Ri, because obviously the differences from last time we saw him is just night and day. Like, it's just like, what happened? If you're just watching the anime, you have no idea what the fuck's happened in this time. So yeah. Yeah, so we actually got information. So at the end of Route A, I was like, what the fuck happened to Koma and Irumi? I thought obviously Kaneki had saved them, and he did, but then they escaped into an underground tunnel known as V14, which was supposed to be empty of what they thought. It turns out that's actually where Arima was, and that's where the fight ended up going down between Arima and Kaneki, which inevitably ended up in Kaneki losing his memory. So yeah, Koma and Arimi actually ended up dying then, which was obviously a question I had, because we'd never gotten any answers to that afterwards. During the fight, obviously in Route A with Suzuya, instead of just breaking his leg, which is what happened in the anime, he actually lost his leg. He actually got cut off, and he didn't feel anything. I mean, there's a big there's definitely something interesting going on with Suzuya. Obviously, you know, when you meet him, especially like in the anime. Obviously, I can't talk for manga because obviously I haven't read it. I've just got some information regarding that. It doesn't go into detail here about that. But Suzuya, obviously in the anime, when you meet him, he's just like, fuck, is he a ghoul? What the heck? Why is he so crazy for? You know, because he definitely, there's a case for him being a ghoul, like when you first meet him. But yeah, like he doesn't feel anything. I imagine that probably goes hand in hand with obviously the torment and torture that he was given when he was under, when he was basically a servant of Big Madame, or whatever her name is. So yeah, also we had Hide offering himself to be eaten so that Kaneki could heal. This was obviously something that I did get given information at the end of Route A going into Ri, which was what I didn't know was though is that the option it wasn't confirmed whether Hide was dead or not. So, you know, I mean, all it basically says is that Hide obviously came in after whose fight was it with? It was with was it with what's his name? What is his name? Amon. Yeah, so let's see. Yeah, Amon versus Kaneki, yeah. Yeah, obviously, yeah, they didn't want to kill each other, but they wouldn't let each other pass, so they ended up having to. And that, yeah, so during that fight, he killed Amon, right? Which is gutting, because I felt like Amon had a very specific role in the show, and I was like, there's no way he's dead. He can't be. He's the one that bridges the gap, like on the CCG side versus what Kaneki does on the Ghoul side. And, yeah, but yeah, during that fight, Kaneki suffers like it's a horrible fucking image. Like it's like half of his fucking his torso has been like ripped out, like a shark's come and bit like into the side of his, and it's horrible. But shame they don't fucking do this kind of stuff in the anime. Yeah. Although I'm not sure even if Amon dies. It just says, yeah, Amon loses an arm, and Kaneki's obviously severely injured. So yeah, so Kaneki's obviously he crawls for help. and yeah, the ghoul the ghoul ends up consuming him and whatever. This is a point where Hide actually shows up, and obviously he's aware. This is where it's kind of confirmed for Hide that, you know, that Kaneki is a ghoul. Obviously, he had his inclinations. Like he thought that, he thought it was the case. You know, he kind of just knew all along. Again, it kind of goes in hand with that. I kind of knew that from the anime, that obviously Hide was awake the whole, like, I knew he was awake inside Antique. I didn't know he was awake during the fight with Nishio, but he was, yeah. So obviously he knows what the deal is. Kaneki's fucked. He needs to heal. In order to do that, he needs food. So Hide actually offers himself up, and yeah, so he wakes up. He does with the blood in his mouth, and that's it. So there's no confirmation that that Hide is actually dead. But yeah, we'll see. So yeah. After the fight with Suzuya, obviously with Shinohara, Shinohara is very badly injured, and obviously, yeah, he is in that coma. That was slightly looked at in the one of the Ray episodes. He is still in a coma. So yeah, he's been in there for a while. Yeah, so here we go. Like, so back to Rize. There was. Let's have a look here. There's a lot of panels here, like, outlining the fight between Arima and Kaneki, which is fucking... Come on. Yeah, right. So here, there is a panel from pretty much what would have been the first episode in Tokyo Ghoul from season 1, when Rize obviously gets taken out, and we don't know who caused her, and at that point you think she's dead. We don't know who caused the collapse of all of the fucking all the construction, like, fucking shit on top of her, right? Now she looks up and there is a smirking clown, so we don't know who the guy is. It looks like it almost looks like Sugiyama, but I don't know. That's one thing that's really that's pointed out here as well, is like this introduction of a faction of ghouls that are called clowns. And obviously we know from the past couple episodes that Uta is a part of it. Also, Itori's a part of it. So Itori, obviously, you know, and Uta were, along with Yomo, were all like three friends, like three really close friends. Obviously, we know Yomo isn't a clown, but Itori and Uta are. So it's interesting. Like, it would be interesting to see, like, if those, if they actually consider. I mean, would they consider Kaneki an ally? You know what I mean, or not? I mean, it's interesting. I don't know why the clowns would see fit to get rid of Rize. I mean, well, the only thing we really know about Rize is, you know, is that she was like she was torment, and she was what was her name? Glutton, right? She was known as a glutton because she would just eat past the point where she even had to. So it was kind of like, maybe that was the reason why they did it. If the clowns are more of a sort of, I mean, I can imagine the clowns being more more benevolent ghouls, I guess, because obviously we know Uta and we know Itori, and they're, you know, they're not. We know that they're pretty, you know, they're pretty good people, at least from what we know. So yeah, we'll have to see about that. Also, Roma is a clown. So this was interesting. This was a surprise to note, is that Roma was actually a waitress at Antique who kept like dropping shit. Yeah, and Nishio would keep giving her wrong. Yeah, so that girl is actually a clown as well. Which is interesting because she's like totally different. She's almost like, I remember like her being like very what's the word? I can't think of the word. Why can't I think of the word? Very shy, sort of. So I think was that the way she was? But she was very, no. Maybe she was a bit more quirky. Maybe she was like if she dropped something, she would be like, "Oops, sorry." I don't know. I can't remember. But yeah. But interesting enough, she wants to see Kaneki suffer more, and that she loves him. So it's just one of those. She's a yeah. She's one of those fucking yanderes, I'm guessing. So yeah, right. This was an interest. So Hinami had Eto Yoshimura's contact information. Now I remember Yoshimura, Eto, and Takatsuki, the person who was the writer. Who wrote books and stuff, and Hanami was a great fan of hers. I remember her going to meet her at one point, and she got contact information from there, right? So, yeah, it makes sense that that like that's how she ended up with Oigiri Tree. Obviously, you know, wanting to you know, go, you know, look for Kaneki and whatnot. So yeah. Yeah, so yeah, Yomo and Antique now have Rize, Dr. Kana needed a new host, and Yoshimura was perfect. Yep, we've already been through that. Right, so here, let's have a look. Where is it? Where is it? Yeah, right, yeah. So, Suzuya, whilst obviously while Shinohara was in a coma, promising Shinohara basically that he will work harder, and this was obviously 2 years prior, basically just after the accident, right? Obviously Suzuya very much sad, possibly blames himself for the reason Shinohara is the way that he is, and that he will have to work harder and obviously live up to the way Shinohara is. So the change from Suzuya from Route A to Ri is, you know, he's black haired. He's not like that crazed, like, you know, like psychopath, someone that's been tortured and tormented like all of his life. To now having like black hair, he's very professional and whatnot. And what I like is like the shift from almost like white hair being more sort of ghoulish versus the black hair being sort of more human. And I think that the shift between obviously Kaneki from when he had black hair to when he has white hair, versus when Suzuya has white hair and then when he has black hair, sort of like, you know, just kind of, yeah, just to symbolize that sort of shift that he now like conducts himself in a more professional manner. So yeah, we had so after the events went down with Kaneki and Arima and whatnot, they came to, I guess, I don't know what you would call him, but like a director or whatnot. So whoever this director was told to develop what we acquired. So at this point, obviously, they're thinking of using the ghouls in some sort of manner. That would eventually, obviously, turn into Quinks and whatnot. and that he refers to, or they refer to Kaneki as it. You know, at least, well, the director does anyway. You know, so it kind of, I think it puts into perspective that, you know, and it wouldn't surprise me, even at this point that we are in the anime, that they still don't consider them, you know, like anything more than an it, which is definitely a good thing to know. Oh yeah, back with the clowns. Also, that really flamboyant ghoul as a clown as well. You know, the one that was with Sukiyama that very first time. You know, the one that was like overly flamboyant. Yeah, I think that guy's a clown as well. Yeah. So finally, from general information from the manga that I should know, is that I'm wondering if Akira actually knows that Heisei is the one that killed Amon. I want to know if that is actually the case, because obviously with Akira being his sort of his boss in a way, you know. I'm wondering if Akira actually knows. Okay, so that was everything detailing like the manga and whatnot, and what they you know, what like information that I should know. Now there is another page detailing info that they left out of the anime. So Kaneki, interesting enough there. This is just what Max said. He thought it was interesting. Was that let's have a look. Yeah. So just judging by, I'm guessing a manga sort of cover, that an interesting like little details that Kaneki actually now needs glasses to read, obviously, because you know he got pierced through the fucking through the eye. Just an interesting little detail. So yeah, the Tokyo Ghoul manga at this point changed quite a bit, feeling wise, as the manga gained confidence. And also had better artwork, I'm guessing. So that was something obviously that Max had told me, which is definitely interesting. So yeah. So Mutsuki actually revealed to be a female, which is something that they didn't do in the anime. They didn't really, you know, they didn't point that out really at all in the anime, and if they did, it was very slight. Whereas in the in the manga, it's more apparent. It's way more apparent. Yeah, we also have a moment in the manga that wasn't that was left out of the anime. Or Kaneki actually, as Heisei actually slaps Uri and says, "Disobey me again, and I'll eat you." Interesting. That's kind of like a moment of Kaneki coming back through, and that after that he actually leaves the room and actually cries. And I'm wondering if that is to do with the fact that obviously he doesn't like it when Kaneki, you know, like when Kaneki comes into his, like back into his psyche. So yeah, we have a little sort of a thing that Kaneki does whenever he is lying, which is that he sort of like strokes his chin a bit like this. And one thing that was left out when he was talking to Arima, when Arima said, "Are you happy?" You know, he was obviously, he said, I'm quite happy, but he was obviously stroking his chin, so obviously he was lying. He's not happy about where he is, even though he's telling people that he is. So yeah, Heisei would refer to Arima as his father and Akira as his mother. So yeah, so Arima says that would mean that Heisei is actually the father of the Queen Squad, which was something that I asked, like, about, you know, what was it? There was a scene in the anime where Arima was talking about, like, Arima possibly being like going to see the grandchildren or whatever, right? That's basically what that is. That's the reason why that happened. yeah, so we've got a guy called Koitsu Chigyo. Is the one who had actually invented the Kakaho implantation, and he got it from Dr. Kano originally. So I'm guessing he worked with him at some point, or knows of his work, somehow got a hold of it. So yeah, so basically that's how the Quinks thing ended up becoming a thing. Interestingly enough, the Kakaho itself is like a sphere. Like, you know, there's a manga panel basically illustrating the Kakaho as a sort of sphere, and that when it's like obviously implanted, and then it has obviously the frame levels and whatever the fuck. But yeah, the Kakaho itself is actually a sphere, which is interesting. And that's like obviously the same process in making Quink weapons. You just kind of implant it into a weapon that becomes a Quink weapon. Implanted into a human, they essentially become a half ghoul. Yeah. So yeah. Washu, the guy who I think has no redeeming qualities whatsoever. We've got a bit of information on him. So he's not on good terms with the bureau chief. Hunting ghouls has actually been a family profession since at least the 19th century. That's a fucking long ass time. They were established as the greatest ghoul hunters and founded the Ghoul Countermeasure Institute in 1890. That is fucking nuts. And the Washu families always saw people as just mere numbers. So obviously that explains why he's so like fucking. He just doesn't give a fuck. I think it was explained in the anime that he doesn't care about risking lives in order to get the job done, kind of thing. So yeah. Also, this was Max didn't actually state this, but I found it in a manga panel regarding Washu. Was where is it? It is here somewhere. Yeah, so here there's a manga panel that basically outlines when yeah, it's a team in Germany led by Assistant Special Investigator Matsuri Washu has closed the most cases and suffered the most casualties in the organization to date. And then yeah, there was like a little panel at the bottom that said it was Investigator Mutsuki who got the lead, right? So Mutsuki, right, I'm guessing if that is the same person as the Mutsuki in that we know, right, then I'm guessing at some point Washu and the Mutsuki family members actually work together. So it's interesting, like, I mean, I guess it goes kind of hand in hand with sort of the profession kind of sort of going down in the family. Like the family kind of picks up the profession of being in the CCG, because obviously Uri has done it. Washu obviously does it. If Mutsuki does it as well, that wouldn't be a surprise. So yeah. Interestingly, regarding Hanami, she actually has a listening ability that's never been disclosed in the anime, which is interesting. Which is why she is actually a data analyzer for a Giri tree. I think they did, and that was it Ayato that stated that she was the data analyzer. But yeah, it wasn't actually disclosed why she was that. But yeah, that is she has a listening ability which she can obviously listen very, you know, basically to I'm guessing like at a very far scope, and probably also be able to listen to everyone at the same time. So yeah. Max explained that there is a reason why Nishio has come back, but obviously that hasn't been explained yet. So he just said there is a reason why. So obviously, you know, at the end of Route A he said he was leaving, and the reason why, and when he was back I asked, well, wait a minute, I thought he was leaving. So yeah, there is a reason, but obviously he hasn't said why, because that'll come up later. Kanye von Rosenwald. So that is Tsukiyama's sort of the family retainer, is who he is. I was wondering who he is because we've never seen him before. I was just wondering what his sort of, how he got to where he was. That he's just the family retainer, right? So it's good to know that. Also the little camera girl, was from an OVA that helped Sugiyama. Okay, so that was from an OVA. I'm not sure if I'll watch that or not, but that is what it is. Yeah, he goes on to mention that there are so many S and SS rated ghouls now, because the world, like the world of ghouls is just huge. It's kind of just expanded to a point where that's kind of just what's happening. So yeah, and he said anything lower than an A rank wouldn't really be out fighting because they just wouldn't be able to, they wouldn't be able to handle themselves essentially. Yeah, and finally, I'm pretty sure they've already mentioned this, like probably back in the first season, but I thought I'd just write it down again, just to, you know, just to remind myself exactly what it is and how it works. So RC cells are what make up the Kagane, and there are 4 types: there's Ukaku, Kokaku, Rinkaku, and Bikaku. So yeah, Ukaku, Ayato is the one that has this one. It's like it's the highest up. It's the shoulder blades, very quick but lacks endurance. Kokaku is what Sugiyama has: greatest rigidity but lacks speed and is heavy below the shoulders. Rinkaku is what Kaneki has: hips, great regenerative power, but it's brittle. So it's brittle, obviously, in terms of the sort of the thing. That's probably the reason why, you know, he keeps getting them cut off all the time. But he does have the greatest regenerative power of the lot of them, so he obviously can take the most abuse. And then Bikaku, which is what Nishio has, which is at the tailbone. There's no obvious weakness, but it's well balanced. But it doesn't have really a good knockout punch, so it's not really it's not the greatest strength wise. But yeah, so everything matches up well against the one above it and poorly against the ones below. So Kaneki wouldn't do, even though he did beat Nishio at that one point, you know what I mean, it's kind of like a weakness against Nishio. But Kaneki's great against Sukiyama. Sukiyama's great against Ayato. Ayato's great against Nishio, so on and so forth. But I thought, yeah, it would be interesting just to put those in there, just so I was reminded exactly how it works. But that is all. So we'll go through 40 minutes just explaining that whole thing of the information that I've got. Now that I know, I think I should enjoy the series a lot more, hopefully. Okay, so yeah, I believe that is all. So we will now get into episode 7 of Tokyo Ghoul Re. Okay, so yep, you know the deal. There is a real copyright issue with Tokyo Ghoul, so I can't show the actual footage, but it will be full length and it will be timer based. So if you do have your own reference footage, you can watch the whole thing along with me. And yeah, so I'll count down, say 3, 2, 1, play. As soon as I say play, hit play, you can watch the full thing, right? Okay, so yeah, I think that's all we need. So without further ado, here we go. Episode 7 in 3, 2, 1, play. No more emails coming in. Ah, it's Ron Hanami as well. No. Okay, custody. Yeah. Thank fuck. Okay, so yeah, it makes sense because obviously Hinami's the one that he wants to protect most, right? So, okay. Yeah, Ayato's really fucking worried about Hanami. You know, he would be, because he has to look out for her, right? Mirumo? Oh, fuck. Takizawa, that's it, not Tachikawa. Why was I saying Tachikawa for? Huh. Shit! Amon! Could it be? Holy fuck! I literally just said, like, I didn't... Fuck, it might be. Shit. Shit. Nice. A lot of promotions going around. Hanami. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I forgot about that. Disappear and don't make me disappear at the same time. Ah, shit. Yeah. Doesn't feel like playing games anymore. Yeah, no shit. Shannara. Will he ever come out of this fucking... of this coma? Fuck. Fucking hell. What happened to him? Do we know him? Was he someone tortured by Yamori or what? That was thingy, wasn't it? Yeah, I know who that is. It's the fucking... It's Edo, right? What's her fucking name? Just goes... Flambe. Shite. Uriel only respond to Musuke now. Oh, I could class as trading, I guess, couldn't it? That's better. Why does fucking anime food always look so fucking good? Damn it. Oh, hot as fuck curry. Okay. Really? Why doesn't Rima get one? He did get promoted. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, you can't leave him out, I guess. What's that? What's that? Cufflinks or what? What is that? It looked like a fucking hairpin, to be honest, but he's a dude, so I was guessing he wasn't going to use it. No. Trent. At least he's beginning to realise it. Takatsuki, that was it. That was the book that Hanami took, right? Is he actually hanging out there? Yeah. Yeah, so they're not... That was, Ura. That was Ura, right? Yeah, it is. He's still hanging out there. Yeah, so you must see him as an ally then. Okay. Yeah, so he does go to hang out. They just don't acknowledge that they know him. This is female. Shirazuas have some connection and Nutcracker now. What's happened to him then? Paper aeroplane into the rainbow? What was that? It's like a wish thing. Steel beams come crashing down. Yeah. Hide. What, is that actually him or not? No, it's not. Okay. Antique. Oh, yeah, the whole building's gone. How many is he eating? Just leaving fucking skulls and bones and skeletons everywhere. What's that? Okay, episode 7. Right. But just to start things off, did you notice Heisei's hair's like like mixing now? It's like going, like you can see like the black come back into it. Interesting. Okay, right, so Arima is like known as the Grim Reaper, and Hinami has been taken into custody by Heisei, so obviously that makes sense. I think you know, out of you know, Hanami's the one that he wants to protect the most, so it makes sense that he would do that. The question is, where is she actually like, where's she stationed? Like, where is she at exactly? I don't know. There was a character known as Miramo, who got a little sneak, like a little scene with. I don't know who that is. But fucking Amon, I don't know if. I mean, I can only hazard to guess, because obviously it was Akira that basically said, could it be? And obviously, who's Akira? Like, which character is she attached to, right? Amon. Amon has that hairstyle. I was wondering who that fucking could be. But yeah, like, shit, fucking, if Amon's like now a half ghoul, how is that gonna do it? But he's going around and he's a cannibal. That's not good. If he's got like a fucking half an appetite as what Takizawa has, then fuck. Yeah, I was calling fucking I was calling Takizawa Tachikawa at the beginning. My apologies. I fucking, yeah, got that wrong. So yeah, bunch of people getting promotions all round. Uri and Mutsuki's been moved up to first class investigators. Heisei's been moved up to a senior investigator, and Akira has been moved up to a special class investigator. So yeah, nice. We'll have Suzuya, who's becoming like a mentor to Mutsuki now, who's actually training Mutsuki to obviously fight better, because that's Mutsuki's like sort of weakness, is that, you know, she can't fight. So that's good. I think you couldn't really ask for anyone better in that regard. Tokage, I don't know if we know him or not. I couldn't. Hold on. Yeah. No, I'm not sure, but he did look like suspiciously like Yamori from behind, and he even did the finger crack thing, which is interesting. So either, I don't know, I'm guessing he's another one that was tortured by Yamori. I'm guessing that must be what it is. But yeah, we had Takatsuki or Eto spying on Shizu. I don't know if Mel. No, they weren't. She wasn't really spying. She basically gave she sent mail. I'll put something in the mailbox for Heisei, right? Which was the book sent by Toma. I don't know. I don't know. There's some interesting things it could be. It could be sent by, you know, if they asked Takatsuki to send it, it doesn't mean that it's from her. It could be from Uda, because Uda has, like you said, he's still a special client, and that's the relationship he says that he has, or regarding anything to do with Kaneki. But so obviously the fact that obviously the mask was sent as well, that, you know, if they're trying to bring Kaneki back, that would be a good way to do it. So either, I don't know, it could be Toma that wanted it sent, it could be Uda that wanted it sent. Yeah, it's interesting. Like the whole, like, all of them seemingly like have connections with each other, like Oigiri Tree, the clowns, and then the I'll just call them antique because that's the easiest way to do it. They all seem to have like inner connections with each other. Allies, I'm not really sure, but like if they can just like kind of work together and have, like, you know, because we know that Takatsuki is part of Oigiri Tree, right? We know that Toma allowed Hinami to go with Oigiri Tree. So yeah, could be any. It could be a few people. We have Uria now, who will only respond to Mutsuki, which I don't know if it's in response to just Mutsuki being a female or what. But yeah, he seems to. I don't know. Maybe that's the thing. Maybe females scare him more than males. Maybe that's like a trait that he has. Yeah, they can eat human food. I mean, I can see why the Queen squad would be able to. But Heisei wouldn't be able to, right? We know what happens. They have to like regurgitate and throw it up because it just doesn't agree with the system, right? I don't know. Also, Arima was said that killed a ghoul with an umbrella. I mean, I'm guessing it's made of Quink then. The umbrella made it, because I thought the whole thing was you can't, like, that was the reason why you needed Quink weapons for. Was because you can't fight a ghoul without them, because normal weapons don't do anything against them, right? You need to fight a ghoul with Quink. That's the only way to fight them. So how the fuck did he kill it with an umbrella then? That must be bollocks. That can't happen. That's impossible. Okay. We'll have Heisei, who actually does hang around with, like, he just hangs out at the Reed Cafe. I'm not sure if he does that on sort of, like, subconsciously. He just goes to hang out there, you know, but he doesn't know why. But like you said before, it feels like sort of like homely and familiar, you know. Interestingly enough, yeah, Nishio, like a lot of them were there. Nishio had his hood up, makes sense, because obviously, Heisei has seen him before when he was fighting whatever his name was at the beginning, who turned out to be Nishio, right? So obviously you can't have his face up like that, otherwise you'll recognize him. But they all seem to be in agreement at the Re Cafe to just let things, or act like things aren't the way they are, you know, like, because obviously that, like, Toka's just acting like, you know, she doesn't know him. That's, you know. So they must have some plan going forward. Like, you know, Toka said that she's willing to just let things wanting to, like, to go, like, you know, I think they've got to have some plan in mind to get him back over, and I think that goes hand in hand with the trying to get him back over to Kaneki by mailing him his mask and shit like that. Like, you know, allowing him to remember his memories as opposed to it being forced upon him, kind of thing. Yeah. Antique, the shop is entirely gone. Obviously, it was destroyed, so it's just been completely removed, which is sad. Shirazu has a brother called Haru who is he's hospitalized with something attached to his face. Now, I don't know what it was. It's sort of like organic matter, like a Kakuja thing. The only reason why I thought that was because at the end there, Tsukiyama is enveloped in it. And if he's eating, if he's cannibalizing, the Kakuja would you know, start to sort of like take more control and whatever. So if he's completely enveloped in it, in organic matter, like that organic matter, like Kakuja shit, that's what it looked like. It looked very similar to the stuff that was hanging off Haru's face. So I don't know what's going on with Haru or what, but yeah, I don't know. Maybe if Haru was given the same thing as shit, like, you know, if he had if he had it like implanted in him, and maybe it didn't mix well or took control or something, and like Kakuja like split, something like that possibly, but we don't know. We'll just have to wait and see what comes of that. But yeah, that is all then for episode 7. A very fucking long video. It's a very fucking long video. It's a 1 hour and 20 odd minutes. But obviously, yeah, I had to go through all that stuff at the start. So yeah. But yeah, that is also for episode 7. So thank you everyone for watching, and I will see you all next time. Bye bye.